Hey guys, what's up, bro? I hope you've all been healthy and that everything's been going your way so far, and you've had a great time. Welcome to another video from the Cronus series for the kids. I'd really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll get the notification right away so you can watch it, enjoy it, and have a blast. Now, let's get into the video. Guys, today I want to show you how to connect a joystick, keyboard, and mouse in the Zen Studio app. I'll explain how you can connect them and actually configure them. Alright, just like I said, guys, in order to connect our Cronus to the Zen Studio app, we need to take the USB chip, the SP1, and plug it into the right side of the Cronus, just like you see here. This is the front of the Cronus, and you plug it into the right side. We need to connect this. As you can see, the Cronus is turned on, and here, when you look, it's in the account library. When did you create the account? And was the serial number down here on the bottom right? This is so that, guys, we can detect or configure the joystick, keyboard, and mouse on our device. We need to check in the port device section, and here you can see it says, right now, no controller, joystick, mouse, or keyboard is connected, so to speak. Now here, guys, you need to consider which device you want to connect it to. This part is the remote slot change, which we set to PS share. Basically, guys, it means this button and this one. We leave the share button on normal, and for its output, we need to see which device we want, so to speak. We use Cronus because this is very important. When you put a game pack and a program on the so-called Cronus device, here, you have to tell it which device you want to use it on. As you can see here, there's PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Series 10, Series S, Nintendo, PC, mobile, and PlayStation 5. Now, I'll explain it to you on PlayStation 4 first, and then I'll explain it separately for PC as well. So we click on PlayStation 4, and kids, I connect my joystick with its cable. As you can see, the cable is long, and with this cable, I want to connect it to the Cronus. When you want to connect the joystick to the Cronus, whether it's for PlayStation or Xbox or any other console, you need to plug the USB end of your joystick into the left side of the Cronus, where the big USB port is. Connect it to the left side of the Cronus in front of this screen, and plug the other end of the USB into your joystick. As you can see, the controller turned on and the Cronus showed the screen again. The initial screen appeared. Now we press the reset device button once. Just like you can see, guys, it detected the joystick. Here it says the console is for PlayStation 4 and the gamepad, or as we call it, our joystick, has been properly connected. Guys, now I want to set aside our joystick since it's connected and focus on the keyboard chip. Okay, so I take the keyboard cable like this. This is the standard USB chip for the keyboard. Guys, to connect the keyboard to the Cronus, you need to use these two USB ports. Plug it in here, guys. I'm connecting it to the right USB port, which is actually the bottom one. So does that work with the Cronus? I'm plugging it into this one. Now look, guys, you can see the keyboard has appeared on the screen here. But since my keyboard is no name, there's no logo showing up here. And if you pay attention, the light on this side of the Cronus for the joystick turned on. The bottom light turned on for the keyboard, guys, and as you can see, that's my keyboard right there. Its light turned on, and you can see it here. On the desktop, the keyboard is now connected to our so-called Cronus. Now, guys, I want to connect my mouse to the Cronus again, so I take this USB chip for my mouse. As you can see, it's just a regular USB chip, and I'm plugging it back into this part. USB is next to my keyboard. Again, I'm telling you, the Cronus is right here on the screen. So I connect it to this part, and now I'm connecting the mouse. See, the mouse turned on too. I can turn it on now so you can clearly see this light turned green. The LED turned on, and as you can see right here, that's my mouse logo. It's from the Logitech brand, and it's showing up here for me. So just like that, you can connect your joystick chips, mouse, and keyboard to the Cronus using Zen Studio. When you want to test if your mouse, keyboard, and joystick are working, you need to do this, guys. Go to the device monitor section. You'll always see this page open for you guys. Just hit refresh once. Now you can see that port A, port B, and port C are connected. Now guys, I want to test the mouse and keyboard for you so you can clearly see. For example, when I press a key, when I press W, you can see here it's showing 100% clearly. When I press the S key, again, you can see it shows 100%. Look, it's clearly showing -100, +100. When I press the A key, you can see it says -100 again. And when I press the right key, or D, see it's +100. When I press the E key, you can see it's working up there. When I press the F key, look, it's showing +100 down here. And just like that, guys, let's check our mouse too. When I move the mouse, you can see this part is moving. When I go left, it's minus, minus, minus. When I move the mouse to the right, you see it's positive, 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 the numbers go up. When I go down, it's minus, minus, minus. You can see the keys are working just like that. It's that easy. All the keys we've defined here are working. So that was how to set up, guys, the mouse, keyboard, and joystick. Now, with the Cronus, I'm going to close this, and then I'll go into the mouse and keyboard settings section. Here, when you come in, this is the same error I mentioned in the previous video, where it says it's at the minimum, so to speak. Your mouse sensitivity should be set to 4000, and the rate should be on D, at 25 Hertz. All right, I'll close this here, guys. I've basically set up an output so I can play with mouse and keyboard. Here, for example, I've set it so that the L2 button is mapped to my joystick. My right mouse button is mapped to R2, and my left mouse button is mapped to, for example, L1 is set to Q, R1 is set to E, and as we go further down, you guys can see. For instance, the square button is set to F and the triangle button is. This is the output I set up, guys, and I'll upload it to the Discord channel for you so you can easily download it and use it smoothly. It's just like using a mouse and keyboard. Basically, it's like a computer. I'll show you the key mappings here on Discord, and you can also set them up yourself here. So you can change the keys to whatever you like for smoother gameplay or your preferred setup. And here, the sense is basically for your mouse, whether it's up, down, right, or left. Once you've set up these settings, you need to press this button so your mouse and keyboard settings get saved. On the Cronus device, see, when I click, it says it's saving the settings to the device, so now it's saved. For example, when you want to, let's say, adjust these settings, which, as you can see, I've put here. For example, how to buy a Cronus device, how to register it, and so on. Apex Game Pack mouse and keyboard settings, and again, Warzone Game Pack mouse and keyboard settings. Guys, I put all the settings here for you for mouse and keyboard, so you can have them. You can download them right here, and once you've downloaded them, guys, you need to see that this option is shown at the top. Click on Import, and go to the section where the mouse and keyboard settings I provided for you are, or any mouse and keyboard settings you download, and set this part to mouse and keyboard. Look, you can see here that, for example, Call of Duty in Warzone 2, which I wrote myself, these are the settings I made for myself. When you double click, all those settings will be displayed for you there. And then you need to click this button again to save them. These are the mouse and keyboard settings on your Cronus. And here, as I told you, they come device, keyboard, mouse, joystick, and that console joystick. It shows you all of them. It's really easy. And once you've done these settings, you can just close it and then take out the USB from this side and disconnect the Cronus. All right, friends, to make sure you set your mouse speed or sensor accurately and correctly, now, it depends on what mouse you have, but for now, I'm going to use the Logitech G703 as an example for you. So you connect your mouse to the device. Now, whether it's a PC or laptop that you have and want to change its settings, you click on your mouse, guys. Look, here's the section that tells you what DPI you want or what your mouse sensitivity should be. Normally, if you want to have really fast movement, so you can quickly look left, right, up, and down, and have really fast movement. Cronus itself actually recommends setting it to 4,000. I personally set it to 2,000. It's fine for me. I'm comfortable with it and it gets the job done. But Cronus itself says to set it to. You can set it to 4,000 like I did, so that sometimes, for example, when you're parachuting and want to quickly look left or right, or if you want to look up or down, it'll work perfectly for you. And that second sensitivity setting, if you prefer, you can set it to 2,000 or whatever feels more comfortable for your hand. You can easily choose and set it. And there's a small tip. That rate I mentioned to you, it's right here in the Cronus itself, or you can set it to 1,000 rate, 500 rate, 250 rate, or 125 rate. Again, I personally set it to 1,000, but Cronus itself recommends setting it to the minimum rate, which is 250. So that's that. Guys, this explanation is about how you can adjust the mouse sensitivity to your own preference, or to the settings that Cronus itself recommends. All right, so First, I connected a USB sharing cable directly to the console. The USB sharing is now connected. Here, as you can see, I also connected a regular USB cable. The end of it is a USB Type-C port that goes into the Cronus. But there's one thing. Is it here? Then, as I told you before, in order to update the Cronus itself, you need to connect it. You have to connect the USB to this top Type-C port, which is the main port, and update it. Also, to be able to use the Cronus, whether on console or PC, you need to connect this USB Type-C port to the top of the Cronus, just like you see. I'm connecting this chip to the top port of the Cronus. See? It's connected. This is how you connect the Cronus to the PlayStation with a cable. That's all. It's nicely connected, so now this chip is our joystick, keyboard, and mouse. Now, to turn on the PlayStation, you absolutely have to press this power button right here. That means don't turn it on with the joystick, with this button, or with this button at all. I'll tell you why you shouldn't turn on the PlayStation that way. Now, let's move on and see that the console is turning on and the screen is opened up for us. As you can see, our keyboard is now working. Our mouse's LED has lit up nicely. Look, here are the accounts I have, and to use them, that is, to enter the console, right here. As you can see, my joystick is connected now because I hooked it up to the Cronus with a cable. For example, on this account of mine, what's really important here, guys, is that, for instance, when you go into Warzone, Fortnite, or Apex and want to play, unfortunately, after 5 or 10 minutes, you'll see that the Cronus disconnects and you can't move, your mouse won't move, and not even the joystick works. When you connect the joystick, mouse, and keyboard, which all need to be connected so that you can play on PlayStation 4, 5, or Xbox, you need all three. The joystick, keyboard, and mouse adapter. To be connected, what you need to do on the device so it doesn't disconnect after 5 or 10 minutes is go into the settings section. You need to go to the devices section and then into Bluetooth devices. When you enter, you'll see the controller that's connected to your console. If it's the one I connected with the cable, you need to turn off its Bluetooth and then go into the controller section and check which method it's set to. Your controller should be connected in the right way. You absolutely have to select Use USB cable, meaning the controller must be connected with a USB cable. It should be connected to the Cronus, and the Cronus should be connected to the PlayStation, either PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, guys. After you do this, you need to go into the Bluetooth section and wait for it to connect. This is the joystick that was previously paired via Bluetooth, and we press X on it. Right down here, it says Option menu. When you press the Option button, it says Forget this device. You select Forget this device, confirming that yes, you want to forget it. You absolutely have to do this step. So go to the control section, set the controller to USB, and you need to delete the controller that was paired via Bluetooth and SCUD so that you can play games with the kids easily. Because if you don't do this, after 5 or 10 minutes, the Cronus will disconnect. Because you've connected 3 devices, it means you can simultaneously play with a joystick and mouse and keyboard. That's why it disconnects after 5 or 10 minutes. Thanks a lot for sticking with me until the end of the video. I hope I explained everything clearly and that you understood everything. Guys, make sure to join the Telegram channel and Discord too. The links are in the channel bio as well. You can also join through the YouTube channel because I post a lot of programs and explanations there. Thank you so much. Be sure to follow, like, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell so whenever I upload a new video, you get notified right away and can watch and enjoy it. And enjoy it. First, make sure you get that money. Second, try to stay healthy. And third, you know you're my love. Until the next video, goodbye.